A Hopi chief's last cry. I am often asked the question, what are the living indigenous elders and spiritual teachers telling us about this time? The late Chief Dan Evhema, the eldest Hopi elder, before his passing in 1999, left this message to mankind. It was Chief Dan, who worked with me, Ghost Wolf, and gave sanction to my writing of the book, manuscript, titled Last Cry, which was also to include a documentary film. But life happens. The film was made, but the Hopi elected not to release it. Chief Dan, in an open letter, Hotavia, Arizona, Hopi, sovereign nation. I am very glad to have this time to send a message to you. We are celebrating a time in our history which is both filled with joy and sadness. We know many of you are having the same troubles. We Hopi believe that the human race was passed through 3 different worlds, and life was since the beginning. At the end of each prior world, human life has been purified or punished by the Great Spirit, Masasu, due mainly to corruption, greed, and turning away from Great Spirit's message and teachings. Turning away from Spirit, period. Sum it up. The last great destruction was the flood which destroyed all but a few faithful ones who asked and received a permission from Wakantanka, Great Spirit, to live with him in this new land. Wakantanka said, "It is up to you if you are willing to live my poor, humble, and simple way of life." It is hard, but if you agree to live according to my teachings and instructions, if you never lose faith in the life I shall give you, you may come live with me. The Hopi and all who were saved from the great flood made a sacred covenant with the Great Spirit at that time. We Hopi made an oath that we will never turn away from him, Father Creator. For us, the Creator's laws never change or break down. Oh. To the Hopi, the Great Spirit is all-powerful. He appeared to the first people as a man and talked with them in the beginning of this creation world. He taught us how to live, to worship, where to go, and what food to carry. Gave us seeds to plant and seeds to harvest. He gave us a set of sacred stone tablets into which he breathed all teachings in order to safeguard his land, and her life. It's not gender specific. This is, but it's not. The earthly mother. Think about the rivers. I'm going to go off on a little tangent. Humankind, mankind, we've damned them, who knows how many times prior to the last flood. But at this point, those rivers, those free-flowing rivers, are arteries. And the earth is alive. Feel the very feminine, maternal, mama vibe. When I set my eye on the earthly mother, if you take away mother and say earthly, just this eye, kissing the mind, the third eye, wide awake, feels a feminine energy, earth, hearth, mama. Anywho, those arteries, the rivers, being plugged up, human beings, our bodies, when our arteries get clogged, we throw a clot and stroke. You can only imagine what the earth has gone through. She's the mother of all, she's strong. But with all this messing, watch my language, messing with her natural ways, cycles, eventually she's going to throw a clot. I don't know what that's going to look like or feel like. I know there are prophecies that fit that. Still, the prophecies are prophecy. Does not mean that the narrative can't be changed by the collective, tribe, whoever comes across this ramble in the midst of reading a letter by Hopi Chief Dan, who worked with Robert Ghost Wolf in their Earth Walk. And I just think it's really important to focus on these water with water right now, especially like worldwide, regardless of if it's a dry, arid place that you live in and it doesn't rain much, or the other. Water is life. Water is life for all sentient kind, creatures on Earth. And with the power of our minds, if we focus on that water, breaking those dams with our minds, we are powerful, individually and collectively. Many are called, so those who are called, come. All hands on deck. Done with my ramble. And you. So in the stone tablets that the Hopi were given by Great Spirit Wakantanka, there were instructions and prophecies and warnings. This was done with the help of Ixtomi Wachokte. It's not written there, but Spider Woman is her name, and her 2 grandsons. They were wise and powerful helpers of the Great Spirit, Wakantanka. Before the Great Spirit went into hiding, he and Spider Woman put before the leaders of the different groups of people many colors and sized of corn for them to choose for their food in this world. The Hopi was the last to pick and then choose their food. The Hopi then choose the smallest ear of corn. Interesting. Then Masao said, "You have shown me you are wise and humble, and for this reason, you will be called Hopi," which means people of peace. "And I will place in your authority all land to life, all land and life to guard," giving way to guardians, "to guard and protect and hold trust for me until I return to you in later days, for I am the first and the last." This is why when a Hopi is ordained into a higher religious order, the earth and all living things are placed upon his hands. It's guardianship. It's not supposed to be light. Some can't really carry the pipe. Burden of the pipe. Pipe carrier pipe. Anywho, all hands on deck. So, when being initiated, this oath, placing the earth and all things in the guardianship of, into the hands of the initiate, this individual, so to speak, becomes a parent to all life on earth. He is entitled to advise and correct his children in whatever peaceful way he can. So we can never give up knowing that our message of peace will reach our children. Then it is together with the other spiritual leaders, the destiny of our future children is placed. We are instructed to hold this world in balance with the land and the many universes, with special prayers and ritual, which continue to this day. It was to the Iktomi Wachopte, Spider Woman, Grandma, 2 grandsons, the sacred stone tablets were given, so they were given guardianship of these stones. Kind of a lot like, what's that story? The Bible story, the people, the Bible. Is it, oh my God, Moses? No. Come on. Yeah, burning bush, Moses, tablets, commandments. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, the grandsons, the older brother, his instructions were to go immediately to the east, to the rising sun, and upon reaching his destination, he was instructed to immediately start to look for his younger brother, who shall remain in the land of the Great Spirit. The older brother's mission, when he returned, was to help his younger brother, Hopi, bring about peace, brotherhood, and everlasting life on his return. Hopi, the name of the younger brother, was instructed to cover all land and mark it well with footprints and sacred markings. Petroglyphs, anybody? This act was to claim this land for Creator and for peace on earth. We established our ceremonials and sacred shrines to hold this world in balance in accordance with our first promise to Creator. This is how our mitigation and the mitigation of the migration story goes, until we meet the Creator at Old Oribe, the place that solidifies over 1,000 years ago. Hopi or ancient people. That name is just that's not their name. It means peaceful ones. World needs a lot of that right now, right? Hey, let's bring Hopi back. So it was at this meeting when he gave to us these prophecies, i.e., Great Spirit giving prophecies, tablets to Spider Woman Iktomi Wachopte's grandsons. Hopi is one of the names, the younger grandson. His name is Hopi. So, the prophecies to give to you now at the closing of the 4th world, of destruction, and the beginning of the 5th world of peace. He gave us many prophecies to pass on to you, and all have come to pass. This is how we know the timing is now to reveal the last warnings and instructions to mankind. This is why I'm reading this, even though I'm really tired. And I'm not going to say anymore. But I'm reading this and uploading right now. It's 11:48 p.m. Pacific Coast time. In no time. Southern California, 2020. It's almost November 6th. Unless I'm a day off. Wait. Welcome to the end of the fourth world. Welcoming in the fifth. Trailblazing the way for the fifth. The fifth world of peace. We were told to settle permanently here, in the Hopi land, where we met the Great Spirit, and wait for older brother, who went east, to return to us. When he returns to this land, he will place his stone tablets side by side to show all the world that they are our true brothers. When the road in the sky has been fulfilled, and when the inventing of something in Hopi means gourd of ashes, a gourd that when drops upon the earth will boil everything within a large space, and nothing will grow for a very long time. When the leaders turned to evil ways instead of the Great Spirit, we were told there would be many ways this life may be destroyed. Great Spirit said that if humankind does not heed our prophecies and returns to the original spiritual instructions, our world would be no more. We were told of 3 helpers who were being sent by the Great Spirit to help the Hopi bring about peaceful life upon this earth. We were told not to change our ceremonies or our ways or even our hair, because the true helpers might not recognize us as the true Hopi. So, we have been waiting all these years. It is known that our true white brother, when he comes, will be all-powerful and will wear a red cap or red cloak. He will be large in population, belong to no religion, but his or her very own. He or she will bring with him or her the sacred stone tablets. Switch the genders up a bit. We've all got masculine and feminine within us. With him, or them, there will be 2 great ones, both very wise and very powerful. One will have a symbol or sign of swastika, which represents purity and is female, a producer of life. The third one, or the second one of the 2 helpers to our true white brother, will have a sign of a symbol of the sun. He too will be many people and very wise and powerful. We have in our sacred Kachina ceremonies a gourd rattle, which is still in use today. And with these symbols of these powerful helpers of our true brother, it is also prophesied that if these 3 fail to fulfill their mission, then one from the west will come like a big storm. He or she will be many, many in numbers and unmerciful. When this being comes, it will cover the land like the red ants and overtake the land in one day. If the three helpers chosen by the Creator fulfill their sacred mission, and even if there are only 1, 2, or 3 of the true Hopi remaining, holding fast to the last ancient teaching and instructions, the Great Spirit, Masasu, will appear before all, and our world will be saved. The three will lay out a new life plan which leads to everlasting life and peace. The earth will become new as it was from the beginning. Flowers will bloom again. Wild games will return to barren lands, and there will be abundance of food for all. Those who are saved will share everything equally, and they will all recognize Wakantanka, Great Spirit, and they speak one language, albeit, my guess, the language of the heart. Just a little prescience. We are now faced with great problems, not only here, but throughout the land. Ancient cultures are being annihilated. Our people's lands are being taken from them, leaving them no place to call their own. Why is this happening? It is happening because many have given up or manipulated their original spiritual teachings. The way of life which the Great Spirit has given to all its people of the world, whatever your original instructions, are not being honored. It is because of this that great sickness called greed, which infects every land and country, that simple people are losing what they have left, what they have kept for thousands of years. So the greed devours it. That's why it's happening. Greed. We're here again. Humanity is here again. Rising tide raises all ships. Now we are at the very end of our trail. Many people no longer recognize the true path of the Great Spirit. They have, in fact, no respect for the Great Spirit or for our precious Mother Earth, who gives us all life. We are instructed in our ancient prophecy that this would occur. We are told that someone would try to go up to the moon. That they would bring something back from the moon, and that after that, nature would show signs of losing its balance. Now we see that coming about. Seen for show. It's a boot. It's blaring in your faces if you're paying attention. Are you paying attention? Lift them heavy eyelids. Can't hit the snooze button. All hands on deck. All over the world, there are now many signs that nature is no longer in balance. And I'll add, she is no longer having it. Floods, drought, earthquakes, and great storms are occurring and causing much suffering. We do not want this to occur in our country, and we pray to the Great Spirit to save us from such things. But there are now signs that the very same thing might happen very soon on our own land. Now we must look upon each other as brothers and sisters. There is no more time for divisions between people. Today I call upon all of us from right here at home, Hopi, Arizona, where we too are guilty of gossiping and causing divisions, even among our own families. Out to the entire world where thievery, war, and lying goes on every day. These divisions will not be our salvation. Wars only bring more wars, never peace. There's no such thing as civil war. What the hell are those two words doing next to each other? They teach that shit. I'll call it shit because it is shit. Civil war? What the fuck? It pisses me off. I never actually questioned it while I was being programmed as a youngster, teeny bopper. Only by joining together in a spiritual peace, with love in our hearts for one another, love in our hearts for the Great Spirit and Mother Earth, shall we be saved from the terrible purification day, which is just ahead. There are many of you in this world who are honest people. We know you spiritually, for we are the, air quoting, men's society grandfathers, end of air quote, who have been charged to pray for you and all life on earth, never forgetting anything or anyone in our ceremonies. Our prayer is to have a good, happy life, plenty of soft, gentle rain for abundant crops. We pray for balance on earth to live in peace and leave a beautiful world to the children who've yet to come. We know you have good hearts, but good hearts are not enough to help us out with these great problems. In the past, some of you have tried to help us Hopis. And we will always be thankful for your efforts. But now, we need your help in the worst way. We want the people of the world to know the truth of our situation. This land, which the people call Land of the Freedom, celebrates many days reminding people of the world of these things. Yet, in well over 200 years, the original Americans have not seen a free day. Facts. We are suffering the final insult. Our people are now losing one thing which gives life and meaning of life. Our ceremonial land, which is being taken away from us. Hopi was established by the last remaining spiritual elders to maintain peace and balance on this continent from the tip of South America up to Alaska. Many of our friends say Hopi is a sacred shrine, a national and world treasure, and it must be preserved. We need your help. Where is the freedom which you all fight for and sacrifice your children for? Is it only the Indian people who have lost? Oh no, it certainly isn't. Or are all Americans losing the very thing which you, original, came here to find? Libre, freedom. We don't share the freedom of this press because what gets into the papers is what the government wants people to believe, not what is really happening. We have no freedom of speech because we are persecuted by our own people for speaking our beliefs or speaking the truth. I'm adding that because it needs to be in there. We are at the final stages now, and there is a last force that is about to take away our remaining homeland. I can feel it. We are still being denied many things, including the right to be Hopi, peaceful, and make our living in accordance with our religious teachings. Keep that alive. The Hopi leaders have warned leaders in the White House and leaders in the Glass House, but they do not listen. So as our prophecy says, then it must be up to the people with pure, good hearts that will not be afraid to help us fulfill our destiny in peace for this world. We now stand at a crossroad, whether to lead ourselves in everlasting life or total destruction. We believe that human beings' spiritual power through prayer is so strong, it decides life on earth. So many people have come to Hopi land to meet with us. Some of you we have met on your lands. Many times people have asked how they can help us. Now I hope and pray that your help will come. If you have a way to spread the truth through the newspapers, the radio, books, thought, meeting with powerful people, tell the truth. Tell them what you know to be true. Tell them what you have seen here, what you have heard us say, what you've heard me read, what you have seen with your own eyes. In this way, if we do fall, let it be said that we tried right up to the end to hold fast to the path of peace as we were originally instructed to do so by the Great Spirit. That's right. Don't give up. Keep going. Never give up. Should you really succeed, we will all realize our mistakes of the past and return to the true path of living in harmony as brothers and sisters, sharing our mother, the earth, with all other living creatures. In this way, we could bring about a new world, a world which would be led by the Great Spirit, and our mother will provide plenty of happiness for all. Bless you, each one of you, and know our prayers of peace meet yours as the sun rises and sets. May the Great Spirit guide you safely into the path of love, peace, and freedom, and God on this earthly mother. Get with your God. It was in you. Everybody's got a dog or a God within them. AA. Let her play. May the holy ancestors of love and light keep you safe in your land and your homes. Pray for God to give you something important to do in this great work. which lies ahead of all of us to bring Hopi peace upon this plain earth. Be well, my children, and think good thoughts of peace and togetherness. Peace for all life on earth and peace for one another in our homes, families, countries, lands. Boom. We are not so different in the Creator's eyes. That's why that language, blind in the eyes so I see with my heart. It's a language of the heart. One language we all speak, we all can speak. Right now is language of the heart. Boom. Just my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. The same great Father, Son, and Mother Earth shine their love on each of us daily. Just as Mama, Mother Earth, prepares the sustenance for our table. Do they not? We are one after all. Take yourself out of the lack mindset. Look around you at all of the things that we have been provided with and we are taking for granted. I have to say we because we're in this together. Hey. The last Hopi prophecies. Oh.